Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share, and subscribe. Enjoy today's episode.
DDDD. In the Death Forest, among the giant tree cocoons, a rapid beep kept resounding. This voice appeared directly in Yi Bei's mind, and only he could hear it. The system is fully upgraded intelligently. After the sound disappeared, a crisp sound appeared immediately. Compared with the cold system before, this sound was more magnetic, more energetic, and more mysterious and powerful. The system, after this upgrade, are there any new features? Yi Bei asked immediately. Of course, when he said these words, his mental power domain was always in a state of release, and he was closely observing the situation outside. If the golden lion couldn't hold it, he would rush over as soon as possible. All the functions of this system have been updated. Explained in detail, it is very complicated. The voice of the system came. Added biological hierarchy, cosmic civilization and technology, and improved data on evolutionary methods. See the latest information of the host for details. The panel will be presented to a certain extent. After the voice fell, a huge screen appeared in front of Yi Bei's eyes. This screen is almost real. The numbers and texts above are extremely clear and even have a sense of three-dimensionality. Compared with the translucent information panel before, it is dozens of times ahead of it. Call. Yi Bei took a deep breath. His eyes widened, staring at the panel and looking at it seriously. Infinite Evolution System. Host name. Yi Bei. Biological level. Level 5. Classify the creatures in the universe. The weakest is level 0. The strongest is level 30. Please consult the system in detail and check the biological level classification. Age. 2/3000. Titan Python Final Stage Evolution Conditions. 5000/1000000 gene points. Evolution points. 180,000/100,000. Average level of ability. 6, from strong to weak. A total of 28 levels. 0 is the lowest. 28 is the highest. Currently, the host can use the ability. Please check with the system separately. Apostle. 3/10. You can find the system for details. In addition, no matter where the host is, all the abilities of the Apostle host can be given and can be deprived at will. Treasure. Qianquan Bag. Has a usable area of 50 square kilometers. Territory. Azure Star. Physical condition. 1,500 meters long. Average diameter 50 meters. Pressure resistance level 2000. Speed. 680 meters per second. Weight. 3,000 tons. Survival value. 100 out of 100. Reminder, the system has been fully upgraded, and the database has been greatly updated. If necessary, the host can ask independently. Task 1. Completely crack the beast civilization technology and reward 1,000 evolution genes. Task 2. Evolve into a giant swallowing python. Reward a diamond treasure chest. It's much neater. Chi. When Yi Bei quickly browsed his information panel, his first reaction was that it was tidy. The system removes all the previous detailed explanations and only displays valuable information. With Yi Bei's current IQ, from these simple information alone, you can easily understand many meanings. The previous breed has become a biological hierarchy. According to the current meaning, the strongest creature in the entire universe has reached level 30, and I am only level 5 now. Then, what kind of creatures are at higher levels? How terrifying is a level 30 creature? Chi. In the cocoon, Yi Bei was spitting a letter with endless expectations and a lot of fear in his eyes. Only at this time, he remembered what the female snake said in the 51st district. Sure enough, the swallowing python is just the beginning. The lifespan has increased to 3,000 years, which is a full double. In other words, as long as I stay in this state, do not swallow any creatures, do not undergo any evolution, I can live for at least 3,000 years, let alone an infinite evolutionary system. Existence, the so-called longevity, is nothing to exaggerate. The ultimate stage of the Titan Python. This means that the next time I evolve, I will become the sky-swallowing giant python. This evolution directly surpasses 3 genetic levels. This is really unexpected. Even the area of the Qianquan Bag has changed from 20 square kilometers to 50. I didn't expect that evolution could improve this. Territory. Azure Star. This should be the name of the Earth in the universe. The number of apostles has doubled, and the physical condition has greatly increased. The vitality value and the damage value are all replaced by the survival value. Chi. Yibei's voice continued. When he said this, he could gradually feel that his body was gradually regaining consciousness, and the immense power was surging in the body. Every move, every breath, seemed to be able to destroy the world. Although I have a lot of questions I want to ask you, let's talk about it later. Now let's see how far my body has evolved. After the body was able to move, Yibei's blood-red eyes lit up, and his mental power field was retracted. While speaking, he quickly observes the whole body, and even directly looks inside his own organ structure. It's okay if you don't look at it. Yibei's breathing became quicker when the domain swept across. Under the spiritual power domain, Yibei could see his body very clearly. The whole body is still silvery white, but the whole body seems to be covered with layers of scales. The layers are distinct and full of sci-fi beauty. It is at least 100 times harder than bright diamonds, as if indestructible, the absolute golden ratio in the dark cocoon. In the middle, they couldn't resist its dazzling light, and this body alone didn't know how many streets were thrown away by the group of ugly beast gods. The sharp spines on the back are very smooth, and as long as you move your mind, you can control it at will. The teeth in the mouth are sharper and more toxic. Each of the cells in the body is even more powerful. There are silver-white energy lines flowing continuously for a long time. Even at a certain moment, Yibei feels that even if his body is destroyed, there is only one cell left. There is plenty of time, and sooner or later it will recover again. Besides, with a length of 1,500 meters and an average diameter of 50 meters, this giant body alone is enough to give countless lives a great sense of oppression. This evolution is beyond imagination. Now is the time to deal with the beast gods. When they are self-righteous, they probably never dream of my existence. I don't know what the taste will be if they swallow them. Roar. There was a low growl in his mouth. Booming. When the sound fell, the cocoon that wrapped Yibei exploded directly. HHHH. In the dead forest, the branches and leaves of countless living plants swayed, and the powerful aura made these living plants constantly rattle. Boom. The cocoon exploded. The tree and vines that originally wrapped Yibei's body, in the devastating force of Yibei, all turned into dust, forming a day of light green smoke around. Booming. Immediately afterwards, Yibei's body fell to the ground of the death forest. Loud noises appeared, and the ground was severely smashed into a huge hole hundreds of meters deep. Yibei didn't move too much, but just the shock wave generated during such a fall also destroyed all the living plants within a radius of 5 kilometers. The scene was like the end of the day, and the air was all smelling of plantwood chips. The power is too strong now, and we must find a way to control it. Otherwise, the consequences of a random blow will be very serious. Seeing the tragic scene around, Yibei murmured. Fortunately, this is a dead forest. As long as the roots of these living plants are still there, even if they are completely destroyed on the surface, it only takes a certain amount of time, and they will quickly recover. After evolving for so long, my body hasn't moved properly. It's almost rusty. It's just to use those beast gods to test how strong my current body is. Whoosh. With a movement of his mind, immediately in front of Yibei, a huge black hole appeared, and there was a terrible suction force inside, and the space in front of him was crazily twisted, generating an extremely huge force. Seeing this distorted space, Yibei plunged straight into it. Chi. In the death forest, the sound of sneer continued. 3 seconds later, Yibei, who was more than 1,500 meters long, disappeared out of thin air. And those living plants, after Yibei disappeared, it took a long time to recover. China, the East China Sea. This is a vast sea, vast and vast. In the age of human civilization, cargo ships, fishing boats, and maritime police can be seen shuttled back and forth here at all times. But today, this place is extremely peaceful. Except for the waves caused by the sea breeze from time to time, there is no other movement. This kind of calm makes the atmosphere here seem strange. Click. Suddenly, There was a click from a space above the East China Sea, and then a hole was listed. An icy breath constantly rushed out of it, causing the sea to begin to surge. 1 second. 2 seconds. The black hole is getting bigger and bigger. 3 seconds. Booming. Yi Bei's huge body suddenly drilled out of it, and then fell into the sea, setting off a huge wave hundreds of meters high, and that majestic energy spread out toward the surroundings wantonly. The Death Forest is a good place, but the outside world is more comfortable. The feeling of the sea is really good. Wow. After Yi Bei fell into the sea, he kept shaking and tossing in the sea, vomiting a letter in his mouth, and his voice murmured, "Ho." However, when Yi Bei said this, the field of spiritual power also covered the world in an instant. United States over Washington. The war has begun. On one side is a super space battleship with a diameter of more than 20,000 meters. On the other side, there are more than 200,000 anti-gravity spacecraft, battle armor, aircraft carriers, and even supersonic fighters. Everyone, before the king returns, we must guard the Earth. Our snake civilization, listen to my orders, attack immediately, use death rays. Sonic weapons are also ready to be in place. In addition, all nuclear weapons are targeted. Hulala. On the aircraft carrier USS Reagan, the Golden Lion stood proudly, and the sun fell on him, making him exude the breath of king. When the roar fell, it quickly passed through various instruments to the ears of every mutant beast. Emission. A mutant orangutan beat its chest and drank low. Offense, attack me. Kill them. A mutant wild wolf with red eyes. When speaking, he used his paws to press the launch button very skillfully. Listen to me. All of them aim at a 60-degree position in the sky and use infrasonic attacks together. Be sure to concentrate the sound waves. In the sea, a mutant shark showed sharp teeth and looked fierce. Next to him, there were tens of thousands of adult dolphins. Everyone, the nuclear bombs are locked. If they fail, directly cover them over there. Although this weapon may not be effective, we must let those monsters know our determination. The head of the Lost Clan issued an order. Whoosh whoosh, numerous missiles took cover in front, swishing towards the Oolong. Booming. The explosions sounded one after another, forming a cloud of explosion smoke over Washington, and countless bomb fragments, like raindrops, fell from a high altitude and smashed one big pit after another in the ruins. Shoo! In these 2 months, the Deadlight technology was handed over in the 51st area. The Snake civilization has been completely cracked, and each warship is equipped with a transmitter. At this moment, countless death rays bursting wildly. Wow! In addition to weapons, Blood Moon carried millions of mutated birds in the air, fluttering and fluttering their wings, densely packed, endless, and this sound alone could make countless creatures feel terrified. Da-da-da-da-da. There were also many humans on the battleship. They held Gatling and pulled the trigger frantically. Even if they were very far apart, they did not give up. When these attacks appeared together, almost in the blink of an eye, the sky over Washington was plunged into the haze of war, and the entire sky was completely dark. The strong smell of gunpowder in the air made many creatures unable to breathe. And in the Oolong, a group of high-level beast gods didn't even feel nervous at all. In the hall, there is also a female beast projection. With the aesthetics of beast civilization, this projection is absolutely perfect. And she is the intelligent control center of the Oolong. Dear beast gods, the enemy's attack has a total energy of 122 cosmic equivalents. Even if all of them are hit at the same time, the damage to the Oolong's defense will only be less than 1/10,000th, almost negligible. May I ask if you counterattack now? The smart projector emits a crisp sound without any emotion. First make them feel desperate and find that all the means are useless, and then fight back. The effect will definitely be better. Snake civilization? It's so ridiculous. I see them so far. They have not realized what they are facing. Such a low-level civilization dare to attack us. Just use annihilation weapons directly to destroy them all. Many animal gods express their opinions. Without exception, all of them are very dismissive. In their eyes, the snake civilization is really pitiful. First, Let's fire up the positive electronic cannon to warm up. Snake Lion was undoubtedly the highest responsible person of the Oolong, and when the discussion almost ceased, he said slowly, "Laugh." The sound fell, and the space around the Oolong suspended above Washington immediately began to squirm. An extremely violent breath was brewing crazily in the air. "It is good." The beast god projection intelligent life immediately began to prepare the energy storage of the positron cannon. HHHH. The snake lion glanced at the puzzled gazes around him and faintly explained, "These flies are really disgusting. Letting them itch on us is definitely not a wise behavior. Let's start with a few positron cannons. Let them know the fear, and then slowly play them to death. This is the most interesting. Frozen for 50,000 years, return to the earth. If it ends all at once, it is not interesting." The voice of the snake and lion was cold. Yes, you should play slowly. Support snake and lion. Look forward to their fearful gaze after being hit by positron. The beast gods next to each other were talking. Positive cannon energy storage. 3, 2, 1. Energy storage complete. Emission. In the hall, the projected intelligent beast quickly reported. When the launch was spoken, in the next second, 3 giant purple lightnings ejected from the transmitter of the Oolong. These purple lights were extremely terrifying, and at the same time they were launched, it seemed to annihilate the surrounding air completely. These beast gods all looked proud, looking at a big screen in the hall, waiting for the horror to happen. Booming. And outside the Oolong, after seeing the explosions and the entire battleship being swallowed in, many mutant beasts were also waiting patiently. But less than 3 seconds passed. 3 purple rays of light burst out of the Oolong. After this light appeared, the Golden Lion, Wong Won, Blood Moon, Caesar, and all the mutant beasts all felt the breath of death. Even on the ocean, Yi Bei, who was moving at twice the speed of sound, suddenly opened his eyes. "System, what is this weapon?" In the deep sea, all the fish that stood in front of Yi Bei were smashed into blood fog under the impact of Yi Bei. After the positron cannon was fired, Yi Bei's eyes widened under the detection of the spiritual power domain. Position electron guns use positrons as weapons. Starting from the essence of matter, they will annihilate negatively charged electrons and transform them into light, energy, and Y-rays, and destroy the atomic structure to achieve the result of destroying the target. This weapon is sufficient. What kind of human civilization is killed? All the weapons of the snake civilization. But in the entire universe, this weapon is still the lowest end. The host is slowly surprised. The real super civilization is far beyond your imagination. The system explained quickly without any concealment. "Damn, we must let this so-called animal civilization know how powerful it is." Yi Bei cursed, his body muscles violent, and the speed of his advancement was not reduced at all. His goal was directed at Washington. In the United States, the 51st zone. Positivity cannons are too powerful. I didn't expect that the beast civilization can already control this power, which is more than 100 times stronger than the death light. Morpheus gritted his teeth, his eyes widening. As an intelligent life, he knows a lot. He can see what the purple light is at the first time. Then the snake civilization will be completely finished? Neo frowned. Unsure. Just now the snake civilization also launched an attack, and it was still a death ray. If it hits, how much damage it can bring to the battleship. When he said this, Morpheus's confidence was obviously not enough. Over Washington. Hurry up, hurry up. After feeling the death threat, the Golden Lion roared. They fought back, unknown weapon. Caesar's body was slightly startled. But too late. When the positron cannon is launched, the attack speed is equal to the speed of light. Before the sound of Golden Lion and Caesar could fall, the 3 purple positron cannons had already crashed on the 3 anti-gravity warships. Then, countless mutant beasts were all dumbfounded. I saw that the 3 warships that were hit were instantly enveloped by unprecedented high temperatures, and even many warships around them caught fire and exploded instantly. In less than a second, the 3 warships and the mutant beasts above were directly in the air. Dissolve, evaporate, nothing is left. This, Wang Wen's pupils shrank sharply, his heart beating rapidly as he spit out letters. Too strong. Bloody Moon was waving his wings and soaring high in the sky with Guyu on his back. After seeing this attack, his voice was sharp. How can this be? What kind of weapon is that? Caesar's eyes burst, and he reached out and rubbed his eyes vigorously, unable to believe it. Destroying 3 warships at once is definitely not many, and the number of mutant beasts that die is only tens of thousands. But this type of attack, and the number of sacrifices, is definitely the first time that mutant beasts were born on the experimental island, and even many mutant beasts were frightened by this attack. The weak eat the strong. Survival of the fittest. From the perspective of the civilization of the beast gods, they did nothing wrong. After 50,000 years, they returned to the earth and regained all the resources that belonged to them. There is nothing wrong with the snake civilization. Rise on the earth, defend your civilization, want to continue to develop. However, when such 2 civilizations collide, one party must pay a heavy price. The fear quickly disappeared. All the mutant beasts had blood-red eyes, and their bodies released extremely violent killing intent. Keep on attacking. Fire all weapons over. If the weapon is useless, give up the aircraft carrier. All the mutant beasts jump off and hit the aircraft carrier directly. Even if it is death, it will cost them. Ouch. Ho ho ho. Fur. The mutant beasts roared again and again, and attacks more terrifying than before appeared again. On the Owl, hey, these guys really don't know whether they live or die. A group of ants are also trying to defeat the elephants. Snake Lion's eyes were cold after seeing the positron cannons that only made the snake civilization a little bit scared, but did not make them run wild, flickering, a little surprised, and then, once again commanded the intelligent beast god. This time launched 10 Yang electronic cannons. Yes. More terrifying energy surged around Oulong. And now on the sea, Yebei is getting closer and closer to the U.S. waters. When he saw a mutant beast dying, the killing intent in Yebei's eyes was almost condensed in a substance, and he had made up his mind that he would not let go of any beast who came to the earth. Over Washington, the thick smoke of the war became denser and blocked all the sunlight. The entire Washington, and even the entire United States, seemed to be plunged into the dark. Boom, boom, boom. The weapon of the snake civilization smashed towards the Oulong crazy, but as time passed, it didn't work at all. On the contrary, in the smoke that was too thick to dissolve, a few purple lights came out from time to time. But every time it can bring huge damage to the snake civilization, more and more mutant beasts are annihilated. When will the king come back? On the aircraft carrier Reagan, the golden lion's eyes flickered, and as the casualties increased, but the enemy's body was not really touched, which made him feel an unprecedented sadness. King. The other mutant beasts, facing the strength of the beast civilization, kept shouting. 10 minutes. The Oulong launched a total of 130 electronic guns and destroyed 130 warships. 20 minutes. The Oulong is still launching. The number has reached 300 times. The entire sky over Washington, in addition to the smell of gunpowder smoke, there is also a strong smell of blood in the air. Even the golden lion, who has always been so arrogant, is stained with stains and looks quite miserable. Golden lion, if this continues, it is very bad. The enemy does not fight us head-on. Their warships are too defensive, and our attacks are still unable to harm them. On the contrary, their weapons can easily destroy our warships. Although the number of launches is not very large, if this continues, we will definitely fail. Caesar was very angry. When speaking, his eyes were blood red, and rows of sharp teeth were exposed, looking very vicious. Because of the explosion, several wounds were drawn on his face. Because no food was swallowed to supplement, the wound was bloody. Damn it! Don't these guys of the beast god civilization have very strong physical fitness? Why don't they come out and do it face to face? Chi. Wang Wen spit out the letter in a cold voice. Their weapons are enough to crush us. From another perspective, humans deal with ants, and we deal with humans. When the location is different, what we see is completely different. To them, our existence is totally nothing threatened. A mutant monkey said with a very heavy voice. On the Aulon, the beast god. The 300-time positive electronic cannons just now have destroyed 51% of the power of the snake civilization, but when I aimed, I did not attack their high-level creatures after detailed calculation and analysis. The positivity cannon consumed a total of 300 spiritual orbs, and the ship body has been damaged by 1% of its attacks so far. It takes 10 spiritual orbs to repair. The projected intelligent beast is analyzing the battle just now. After so many attacks, the defensive power of 10 spirit orbs was consumed. What year are their weapons antique? It's really weak. This battle is too boring. I think I should hurry up and leave the resources. Yes, destroy them directly. In the hall, many beast gods spoke with extremely disdain. At this moment, the snake lion squinted his eyes slightly. Although we have charged tens of thousands of spirit orbs when we came out of the wormhole, using them on this inferior creature is a huge waste. Forget it. Just change a weapon and kill them all. Yes. The intelligent beast answered quickly. DDD. However, just as her voice fell, suddenly the virtual body made a beeping sound, and the body was faintly red. HHHH. After this voice appeared, a large number of beast gods immediately revealed their gazes in the hall, with surprise in their eyes. The beasts and gods can easily understand if this sound is made in the universe. But now, their eyes are full of surprise. Because this is an alarm that will only be activated when it encounters the super energy that can threaten the Aulon. Could it be possible that there are weapons that can threaten the Aulon? What happened? Snake Lion asked immediately. According to the inspection, the 5th-level super life form is moving towards us at high speed. 2 times the speed of sound. It will arrive directly under our battleship in 10 minutes at most. The intelligent beast paused for a while, then said, Impossible. How could there be 5th-level life on Earth? This is a low-level universe. Are you sure it is not a detection error? There is absolutely nothing wrong. That energy is very strong, and it still moves in the deep sea. But as long as we escape, he will not be able to cause any harm to us. Now we are collecting images. Run? Don't be kidding. I want to see what kind of life it is. Snake Lion stared wide-eyed and waited for 50,000 years. If he escaped, he might as well just die. 10 seconds later, the intelligent beast collected the video images and projected them in the hall for the first time. This is Python. No, it looks like a dragon. It looks like a starry sky snake. Silver. Wow. There was a commotion in the hall in an instant, and the order to kill the snake civilization by firing weapons just now was forced to be cancelled at this moment. In the entire hall, dozens of beast gods couldn't help but scream. Even the snake and lion stared with bloodshot eyes. Whizzing. Chi-chi. In the deep sea, Yi-Bei's body seemed to be a silver-white lightning, and wherever that huge body passed, an extremely terrifying storm could be set off in the deep sea. Countless deep-sea fish evade frantically. You bunch of trash. I will start praying soon. You all prepare for me. As he moved forward, Yi-Bei's mental power domain enveloped the entire Aulon. This power penetrated the wall of the battleship and directly penetrated into the mind of every beast god. Because Yi-Bei is getting closer and closer to Washington. The moment the spirit power covered the Aulon, Wang Wan, the Golden Lion, and the others, who were nearby, immediately felt the appearance of Yi-Bei. Wang, this is the breath of the king. Caesar stood on a spaceship with blood dripping from his face, but his eyes were filled with excitement. The king is finally back. I feel that I can use that powerful power again. The Golden Lion growls. The next moment, his eyes condensed, and 2 death lights suddenly burst from his eyes, shooting towards the Aulon battleship. These guys are dead. When Wang Wan spoke, his mouth opened directly, and after he felt the breath of Yi-Bei, a huge flame spurted out of his mouth. The entire dark sky was dyed blood red. Aulon the hall. When the projected image appeared, all the beast gods had heavy expressions and inhaled. In that image, it is a giant silver-white python moving fast in the sea. Ignore the super water pressure. In the process of movement, the water is directly cut apart, forming an extremely majestic force in the deep sea. Wherever the body passes, even on the surface of the sea, Waves of hundreds of meters high can be set off. Skin as if wearing armor. The body is full of lines and powerful explosive power. And with the appearance of this projection, the intelligent beast was still seriously analyzing it. The species of creature is unknown, and there is no comparative information in the database. It should be a brand new snake attribute creature with a body length of 1,500 meters, a diameter of 50 meters, a moving speed of 640 m/sec, and twice the speed of sound. Because of its huge size, when moving at this speed, the explosive force produced is equivalent to firing 20 positron cannons at the same time. With the voice of the intelligent beast slowly appearing, the fear in the eyes of this group of beast gods increased. But this is just the beginning. Soon, the intelligent beast discovered another situation, and his voice immediately changed. Dear beast gods, the snake clan civilization creatures that surrounded the Aolong before all have become different. Look at these. Video. The sound fell, and a second 3D video projection appeared in the hall at the same time. Wow. The red flame was burning wildly. Ch. Rays of death burst out continuously. However, after seeing the real situation, these beast gods suddenly felt that their brains were not enough. The giant reticulated python spouted flames from its mouth. Is it sure that it was not a machine intelligently modified, but a real flesh? Impossible, absolutely impossible. How can a creature release flames? A beast directly exclaimed. It's not just flames, don't you guys see it? There is a lion more than 10 meters high, and his eyes are shooting death rays. These beasts are a little different from what we imagined. Immediately another beast took it. Hi, I feel that we don't know enough about the snake civilization. We seem to be in trouble. Inhale the sound of air conditioning. As for the snake and lion at this time, his eyes widened, and the skin on his face was constantly trembling. The unknown creatures in the deep sea, as well as the various creatures outside the Aolong, whose mouth can spray flames, and their eyes can burst light to death. These have greatly subverted his imagination. Your Excellency, snake and lion, we are careless. This time we came to the Earth thinking that after the technology here was locked, we did not conduct a comprehensive analysis of the civilization here. Judging from the current situation, although the technology is locked, they passed the way the body evolves has allowed its own body to evolve. Human civilization is very weak, yes, but this newly emerging snake civilization is different. A beast spoke, although his eyes were puzzled, but he was very rational when analyzing. Then what are you waiting for? I will scan the technology on the Earth and the state of all living things immediately. I have to figure out what is going on. Also, if the irritable flies around you continue to make noise, they will all be annihilated. The voice of the snake and lion was cold and murderous. ZZ. When the sound fell, several white electric currents suddenly flashed in the exile space of the beast civilization. Many humans only felt their heads numb and went blank for an instant, but they recovered in the blink of an eye. This method is actually the intelligent beasts and gods scanning human memory through brain waves to find valuable information. After about 10 seconds, the result came out. Aolong, in the hall. The intelligent beast said calmly. About 60 days ago, a civilization change occurred on the Earth. Snake civilization and human civilization started the Third World War. According to the information I collected, the battle was at the last moment. Millions of mutant beasts have used their eyes to release death rays at the same time, and they can be 100% sure that these creatures are not mechanical life forms, but real carbon-based life. Their biological level is not high, but hidden the power is unfathomable. The voice fell, dozens of beast gods, all with big eyes and small eyes. This information can't be wrong, right? It can really release the death light. Why didn't you use it again when we killed it just now? Million. Damn it, snake civilization. What kind of monster is it? It's much more trouble than imagined. The beast gods said one after another. It was possible to kill before, but now it is also possible to kill, directly slap all the surrounding flies to death, and then deal with the monster in the sea. The snake lion ordered again. Although the opponent is beyond imagination, this is definitely not a reason to stop the attack. However, when the voice of the snake and lion fell, Yi Bei's roar suddenly appeared in his mind. As the spiritual power domain shrouded, Yi Bei knew that after these beast gods would kill all mutant beasts, they directly opened the bullet time during the movement. The 10-odd minutes that the intelligent beast originally calculated was instantly reduced. While all the beast gods shook the voice in their minds, a giant silver-white body has appeared directly under the Oolong, and the red alert on the intelligent beast god's body is getting more and more intense. The unknown creature has suddenly accelerated and has now reached directly under the Oolong. May I continue? The mutant beasts around have carried out devastating blows. What? In the hall, all the beast gods, including snakes and lions, were all stunned on the spot. And above the ruins of Washington, Yi Bei's body stands proudly. The densely packed spaceships and warships floating in the air were simply unable to withstand Yi Bei's brilliance. At this moment, Yi Bei's appearance seemed to be the only protagonist between the whole world. King, the golden lion growled. King. Caesar wiped the blood from his face. King. Wang Wen uttered a letter. Yi Bei, Gu Yu, who was lying on the moon, murmured, her black hair fluttering. With the sound of voices, the entire Washington air seemed to freeze at this moment, an extremely terrifying aura spreading around, and Yi Bei raised his head slightly, his cold eyes staring at the Oolong. The surrounding cold wind keeps going. The sky was very hazy. The thick smoke of war wafted endlessly. However, this scene has formed an extremely terrifying epic picture. Even the beast gods in the Oolong ship felt unprecedented shock, even more shocking than traveling in the universe. Roar. Yi Bei opened his mouth. The sharp fangs stretched out, and the 2 rows of white fangs in his mouth were also exuding coldness. But in his mouth, a dark ball of fire is rapidly condensing and forming. Alarm! Alarm! A super energy body detected. The defense power is increased tenfold, and 100 spirit orbs are automatically consumed. The intelligent beast god's body is constantly beating with red light. Although she is only an intelligent projection, but when this sound comes out, it seems to have a somewhat fearful tone. Above the ruins of Washington, Yi Bei's body was entangled, and at the same time a dark black fireball appeared in his mouth. His voice also rang in the minds of every mutant beast. I already know your sacrifice. This is a lesson. Only by getting stronger is the truth of everything. Leave the rest to me, and you will all disperse. The voice was cold, without emotion. These mutant beasts were extremely excited when they saw Yi Bei appear. Originally wanted to attack Oolong together. But when they heard Yi Bei's words, they didn't have any opinions. They knew very well with their wisdom that if they stayed here, it would very likely affect the battle between Yi Bei and the super battleship, and even drag back. Yes. Golden Lion answered first. Yes. Wang Wen, Caesar, Blood Moon also made their voices. Whizzing. In the next moment, the aircraft carrier and spacecraft they were on evacuated with their propulsion engines to their maximum horsepower. But the beast god did not stop them. They knew very well that the real enemy was Yi Bei. In the Oolong Hall, all the beast gods focused their attention on Yi Bei. The snake lion is still the core. Fire a positron cannon and aim it at this monster's head. I don't believe in level 5 life. Even the head can withstand this cannonball attack. The snake and lion's eyes were cold, and he was rude when giving orders. Yes. Chi. First, Oolong's defensive power was increased tenfold in an instant, and then the intelligent beast immediately began to aim at Yi Bei. When the huge energy was being stored, the sky over Washington continued to sneer. On the ground, above the ruins, Yi Bei was very calm. When I scanned through the spiritual power domain, I didn't feel much shock, but from the scene, the warship of the beast civilization is really big. It feels that the entire sky above Washington is blocked. The densely packed transmitters on his body. If you let humans with intensive phobias may see it, they might be shocked on the spot. Chi. Yi Bei stared at Oolong, his voice muttered. Suddenly across 3 genetic levels of evolution. Just use this battleship to test my strength. First test the fire-breathing ability. ZZZ. When thinking of this, the black flame in Yi Bei's mouth grew bigger and bigger. When it first appeared, it was only the size of a human fist, but in the blink of an eye, it reached 3 meters in diameter. At the same time, the dark black flame was moving out of Yi Bei's mouth little by little and hovering right in front of Yi Bei's head. The amount of violent violence produced in it made the surrounding ruined buildings directly turned into ashes. ZZ. The diameter reaches 10 meters. ZZZ. The explosion continued to reach 100 meters. ZZ. The dark fireball has reached 1,000 meters, and it seems that it has almost surpassed Yi Bei's body size. This scene is very similar to the scene in Naruto World when Kyuubi launches the giant tail beast Jade. This kind of power is really terrible. I feel like I can continue to store energy. Seeing the dark fireball floating in front of him, Yi Bei was not in a hurry, thinking to himself, ZZ. In the next second, the fireball had reached a diameter of 2,000 meters. The scorching temperature burned all the ruins around Yi Bei, and the temperature in Washington had increased by at least 20 degrees at this moment. The violent energy can destroy everything. When the dark black fireball reached a diameter of 2,000 meters, he instinctively told Yi Bei that this was already the limit. Roar. A loud roar broke out in his mouth. The dark black fireball seemed to have received some kind of huge thrust and slowly flew in the direction of Oolong. The speed was not very fast, but it gave all creatures a feeling that they couldn't avoid it at all. Shoot! Shoot me! Kill him! On the Oolong, the snake and lion yelled, with cold eyes flashing. Although the dark black fireball with a diameter of 2 kilometers is not very threatening to the Oolong, it still gives the snake lion a sense of fear. He is completely certain that if he touched it with his body, this fireball would turn into ashes on the spot. Booming. The dark black fireball draws a black mark in the air, swallowing up the thick war smoke in the air. Chi-chi. At the same time, 100 weapon launch ports simultaneously fired positron guns. Crackling. These 100 purple lights gathered together, and when the positive and negative electrons collided, horrible lightning was brewing in it. Boom. Suddenly, the positron cannon hit the dark fireball fiercely. At the moment of the collision, a cloud of mushrooms directly rose in the air. Rumble. The shock wave that produced instantly turned all the buildings within a radius of 10 kilometers centered on Yi Bei into ashes, and even the ground around Yi Bei's body cracked a few meters wide. The energy that destroys the sky and the earth ran wildly in the air, and the sky and the earth became completely gloomy, and even the light was swallowed. There seemed to be a black hole above Washington, and no light could be reflected, and nothing could be seen. Rao is the Golden Lion, Wang Wen, Caesar, and the others took the warship spacecraft to fly more than 20 kilometers, but at the moment of the explosion, many spacecraft fell apart from the sky, and many of the mutant beasts above were also affected. Blurry. After the explosion, the storm that produced was rustling. Have you succeeded? 100 positron cannons must be dead. What level 5 creatures are not killed yet? Our beast civilization is the strongest. Today, I will destroy all the creatures on the earth. Celebrate by dropping. On the Oolong, the snake and lion stared, with a hideous face. The explosion just now caused a short-term failure of the electronic equipment here, but this power also gave him great confidence in victory. You must have won. I locked the monster's head just now, and the monster's IQ doesn't seem to be very high. I don't even know how to dodge. Although the positron cannon is not the strongest weapon, there is no creature that can resist it. Frontal attack. A beast spoke. The effect of the positron cannon is annihilation. It must be dead. Ha ha ha. Quickly get the body of the 5th level creature. Its skin may be able to make brand new weapons. There are also fanatic voices of beast gods. In the whole hall, it turned into a look of joy at this moment. DDD. However, they hadn't been happy for too long, and there was a harsh beeping violently, which was a warning alert to the intelligent beast god. In the United States, the deep sea is 2 kilometers. Zone 51. Morpheus, will it die? After the Big Bang, Neo's body trembled slightly, and his voice was trembling when he spoke. 2 powerful forces collided and swallowed all the light. The situation on the scene was not visible at all. However, I have to say that the power displayed by the snake is really powerful. Compared to 2 months ago, his power, at least it has exploded more than 100-fold. With his current power, if we come to our 51st area again, it will be completely destroyed in 2 seconds at most. Morpheus was wearing sunglasses, and the black leather jacket on his body was constantly swaying. When he said this, he was amazed, but he did not directly answer Neo's question, because Yi Bei's suddenly became stronger, and even Morpheus could no longer judge. The battleship of the beast civilization only had 100 launchers attacking at the same time. In other words, the battleship only showed less than 1% of its power. Now let's see if the snake is dead. Trinina is obviously not optimistic about Yi Bei. Russia, on a white snowfield. The Emperor's eyes were burning. Whether it is the civilization of the Snake Clan or the civilization of the Beast Gods, they are too strong. The positron gun, originally thought that relying on this weapon, can compete with the civilization of the Snake Clan. But now it seems that I am too confident. Even if defeated Snake civilization will also be crushed by the civilization of Beast Gods, human beings, and the Earth, sooner or later will face a disaster. The Emperor's voice was a little hoarse. Yes. After knowing the existence of the Beast civilization, the 5 gangsters were madly studying weapons in secret. The United States has produced deadlight weapons and sonic weapons. On the Russian side, positron guns were manufactured, but until the world was controlled by the Snake civilization, the Emperor did not order the use of positron guns. That was Russia's last trump card. China, the capital. 9 elderly people gathered together with a big screen in front. In the face of the pressure of the animal civilization, only our China and Russia did not surrender. If the snake is defeated, our fate can be imagined. An old man spoke, his temples pale. The battle between races is all like this. The reason I did this at the beginning was that I could feel that the snake civilization did not really want to destroy all mankind, at least for our special feelings for China. But the civilization of beast gods is different. Countless materials can prove their madness. Yi Lao spoke. None of them is a good thing. It's best if you both lose in the fight this time and all die. Old Gua gritted his teeth and his voice was cold. I agree with Yi Lao's words. If the snake civilization wins, it will be good for us. After they have been hundreds of meters away, they will behave in the entire US. But in our country, China has always been entrenched in the East China Sea and has not expanded everywhere. Even countless provinces and cities of China are still at peace. The overwhelming man sitting on the main seat spoke. Then what shall we do next? An old man asked hesitantly. Gotta gamble. Bet. Well, put all the pressure on the Snake Clan civilization. Take out the weapons developed by our Huaxia kingdom secretly and attack the warship. Hiss. Speaking of this, the atmosphere in the room became very strange. Washington, sky above. As the fierce alarm sounded, the expressions of all the beast gods were cut off. What happened? Is this still alive? Impossible. The explosion of that level just now produced an annihilation effect, as well as black holes. Even level 5 life forms can't hold them at all, right? Quickly say the result. After a little reaction, these beast gods all yelled. Although the combat power of the Aolong is very small. However, these beast gods know very well that crossing the stars and traveling wormholes, the Aolong itself has suffered a huge trauma. If you use a stronger weapon, it is very likely that the Aolong can no longer leave the Earth, which is the real reason for their fear at the moment. Just when their voices are mixed, the intelligent beast god recovered, and a clear projection was released. In the video, a whole body of pitch-black flame is slowly flying towards Aolong. Moreover, this flame seems to have grown a lot compared to the time before, and its diameter has become at least 2,500 meters. There are also purple lights intertwined and twinkled. Huh. After seeing this projection, the expressions of the beast gods in the hall changed again. The 100-yang electronic cannon didn't destroy the flame just now. What kind of flame is this? Is it possible to swallow all the power of the positron cannon? Monster, this guy is a real monster. Damn it, can you only use stronger weapons? The hall was full of surprised sounds. They themselves were extremely terrifying monsters. Now they call Yi Bei a monster. Seriously speaking, these sounds are really strange. Click, click, click. On the ground, above the ruins. Cracks continued to form around Yi Bei's body, and the clicking sound continued. It was beyond expectation. When I saw the positron cannon just now, I thought the flames I sprayed would be instantly dissipated, but I didn't expect that not only was it not dissipated, but instead swallowed all the energy and became stronger. Chi. Yi Bei spit out the letter. Although the shock wave just turned a radius of 10 kilometers into ashes, Yi Bei's physical fitness was too strong and he was not affected at all, and even the slightest scar on the surface of his body could not be seen. After the host evolves, the flame is different from the previous bright red flame. It has a dark flame that can be swallowed, and it is not surprising that it can swallow the energy body. The host will see his stronger moment later. The system sounds very intelligently, and Yi Bei's eyes became brighter. Whoosh. Dark black fireball cut through the sky. 5 seconds. 10 seconds. 15 seconds. Booming. In the end, Aolong didn't use space to jump and avoid, but with that super defensive power, directly wanted to eat the entire attack. But at the moment of impact, a shock wave that was 100 times stronger than before appeared again. Booming. The ground around Yi Bei's body was more than 50 meters deep, all cracked like spider webs, and spread wildly. A few seconds later, where Yi Bei was entrenched, it seemed to be an isolated island, and the surrounding soil was shocked by shock waves. Gasify. The shock wave spread for 30 kilometers. The United States, once extremely prosperous Washington, instantly returned to the most primitive and barren era. As for Aolong, who forcibly received the dark black fireball, the situation is even more miserable now. Alarm, alarm, engine 81 is on fire. Automatic repair. If the repair fails, a huge amount of energy needs to be provided. This system has insufficient authority. It takes 2,000 spirit orbs to consume and asks the beast god for approval. Wow. At the moment of the impact, the entire Aolong suspended above Washington shook violently. The ugly-looking and disgusting beast gods standing in the hall were unstable and swayed. At the same moment, the intelligent beast of 3D projection kept emitting fierce alarm sounds. The Aolong, which claims to be super defensive, was destroyed by a fireball. This is something that all the beast gods never expected, and it was never expected before the snake and lion returned to the earth. Asshole, fix it now? Eliminate all those flames. You don't need to ask me for permission in the future. Remember, from now on, you must eliminate the unknown life form at all costs. While shaking, the snake and lion roared angrily. This feeling of capsize in the gutter made him feel extremely humiliated. Yes. After the intelligent beast listened, in the energy library, 2,000 spirit beads were madly flowing out of energy with special technology. Then, the 81 engine that was burned by black flames began to slowly repair under this energy. But, just after the restoration, the intelligent beast was shocked. The black flame seemed to be able to swallow everything. In the process of repairing, even energy can be swallowed. This completely exceeded her expectations and judgment. So, in the next second, the intelligent beast spoke again. The flame of the number 81 engine is special and cannot be completely eliminated by using the spirit orb energy. There are currently 3 options. First, continue to consume spirit orbs, the number of which is unpredictable. Second, use space to jump into the sea and let the sea water this kind of flame is extinguished, and then the spirit orb is used to repair it. Third, to abandon the 81 engine and strip it from the Aolong. When this voice appeared, the muscles on the snake and lion's face twisted together. Continue to consume spirit orbs, unable to predict the number? What a joke! Once the energy fails at this time, the Aolong loses its power and all the beast gods will die. Return to the sea? Space jump? Isn't this what it means to escape? Abandon the engine and switch to another weapon to attack. The monster must be killed. After a little internal weighing, snake and lion made a decision. Boom. After the sound fell, on the Aolong, the place burned by the dark flames was directly separated. Without the support of the anti-gravity technology, a huge metal block fell from a high altitude with a boom, directly hitting one on the ruins. A huge pit of more than 500 meters. Above the ruins, Yibei's body was entrenched without any waves. Originally, I thought that this flame could completely destroy this battleship, but only part of it was destroyed. It seems that it is not very strong. However, at least it can prove some problems. This super battleship is not invincible. Yibei spit out Shinzi, very calmly commenting on the attack just now. He didn't realize at all that his attack just now shocked the mutant beasts that fled far away, Morpheus and others in the 51st District, and even China, Russia. The effect of the flame ability is not obvious enough. What about the death light ability? Yibei looked up and looked at the giant battleship. In addition to his larger size, which gave him a lot of pressure, deep down, he was completely confident to win. Because this time, even across 3 stages of evolution, even Yibei himself didn't know how strong his strength was. Numerous golden lines flowed rapidly in Yibei's body. The majestic energy is gathering a little bit crazy. ZZ. Immediately after Yibei's eyes, which originally looked extremely dark, a golden light flashed. In addition to the different colors of these lights and the light of death before, the breath also changed drastically. They are like countless swords that can tear everything apart. And when Yibei's eyes glowed with golden light on the Oolong, the alarm sound of the intelligent beast suddenly became more intense. A super energy light is detected. Once it hits, the hull will be affected. It will cause irreversible damage. What? The face of the beast suddenly changed. Energy light. Isn't that a dead light? Our warship has a special coating. That kind of light can't take effect at all. Why does it cause irreversible damage? There were also beast gods who were extremely surprised. Is that monster launched again? He is really a carbon-based life form. Shocked voice. Kill him, change a stronger weapon, and use an electromagnetic pulse cannon. The snake and lion roared. As a creature, at this moment he also felt a hint of threat. ZZZ. When the sound fell, the intelligent beast god quickly controlled the Oolong. The power of a large number of spirit orbs was drained in an instant. Puff, puff. The speed at which the battleship launcher stores energy is very fast, and the launch port is even more flashing. In the blink of an eye, hundreds of electromagnetic pulse cannons rushed towards Yibei. U.S. District 51. After the black hole of the explosion just disappeared, they could clearly observe the situation on the battlefield again. This is an electromagnetic pulse gun? And is it completely controllable? Morpheus opened his eyes wide, and the 2 weapons launched by the Oolong were all his dreams. Electromagnetic pulse gun, also known as EMP, the longest electromagnetic pulse usually lasts only 1 second. It is a kind of sudden, broadband high-intensity pulse of electromagnetic radiation. This type of weapon is effective for intelligent life forms and mechanical life. It is absolutely devastating. The snake can emit death light and flame. If it is correct, the group of beast gods are testing whether the snake is charcoal-based life. Murphy's voice trembled. He is an intelligent life body. Although it transfers memory to the human body, it is only a digital memory after all. If it is really hit by an electromagnetic pulse shell, it will be over in an instant. Then, Snake God, what kind of creature is it? Next to him, Neo was short of breath. Trinina also set her eyes on Murphy's, waiting for the answer. Washington, above the ruins. Changed weapons again. Yibei squinted his eyes, and when he saw an electromagnetic pulse with a diameter of more than 20 meters rushing towards him, he mumbled and opened his mouth decisively, with a look of expectation in his eyes. When the electromagnetic gun collided with the death light, there was no annihilation effect, but they penetrated each other. The death light hit Oolong's body severely. ZZZ. The electromagnetic pulse with a thickness of more than 20 meters directly fell into Yibei's mouth. Next moment, countless lives have been shocked. In the middle of the head, I can see it very clearly this time. He can emit death rays and breathe fire. He is definitely not a simple carbon-based life form. There must be a metal structure in the body. This time he is dead. Wow. The Oolong shook violently. DDD. The 3D intelligent projection beast gods are constantly beeping alarms. However, in this case, the snake and lion spoke very viciously vowed. However, at the same time he said this, the expressions on the faces of the other beast gods in the entire hall changed. It's impossible, he's not dead. Some have their mouths open. Swallow seems to have swallowed all EMP electromagnetic pulses. Some face muscles twitch. This monster has no metal structure. No metal life can escape the attack of EMP. Some eyeballs are wide, and their eyes are bloodshot. It is conceivable what kind of picture they saw if they were able to make these beast gods who are rampant in the universe appear this way. The hall, in the projection, under the reflection of all kinds of light, Yi Bei's current appearance clearly appeared. After the electromagnetic pulse gun with a diameter of 20 meters rushed into Yi Bei's mouth, they clearly saw that the majestic energy was disappearing little by little. But Yi Bei didn't have any injuries on his body. Not only did it fail to defeat Yi Bei, but instead caused the Aolong battleship to take a heavy blow, and the entire hull was shaking from side to side. What is the monster? At this moment, the snake and lion swallowed frantically. However, while he was frightened, his killing intent became heavier and heavier. As the pioneer of the return of the beast civilization to the Earth, I have paid too much to wait for this day. But I have to admit that the current Earth is beyond my expectation. If it is correct, when our beast gods left, other cosmic civilizations had come, and this monster was one of them. Then, Lord Snake and Lion, what should I do next? Next to him, a high-level beast god stood firmly and asked nervously. Immediately, all the data is made into electronic signals, encrypted and transmitted back to our beast civilization. The snake and lion drink low. Then our battleship now? The high-level beast continued to ask. I have come to the Earth. If you run away at this time, even if you go back, do you think you have a chance to live? Now, we have no choice but to continue the war even if we exhaust all the energy. The sound of snake and lion does not carry any emotion. Wow. And when this voice fell, all the high-level beast gods in the entire hall stiffened, and then there was endless fear in their eyes, and even their bodies trembled violently. In their minds, they all thought of the scariest picture. Congratulations to the host for successfully devouring electromagnetic pulse energy. Reward evolution points plus 30,000, gene points plus 500. The host is currently fusing electromagnetic power. The countdown begins, 10-9. Washington, above the ruins. When such a voice rang in Yi Bei's mind, joy continued in his eyes. This infinite evolution system is simply too powerful. It can not only swallow creatures, but also some energy. It has swallowed lightning and deadlight before, and now even electromagnetic guns can be swallowed, and it can also gain the power in it and use it at will. It seems that if you have the opportunity, you must try to swallow a few nuclear bombs. Excited, Yi Bei thought to himself that the battleship that had dealt with the civilization of the beast only wanted to use this to test his evolutionary strength, but he didn't expect to have unexpected gains. As the body was fusing the power of electromagnetics, Yi Bei was not idle while thinking secretly, but for the first time through the field of mental power to observe his body in detail. ZZZ. The sound of electromagnetic collision continued to resound. Under the domain, Yi Bei found that all the electromagnetic waves were carrying white light. After entering his mouth, with the help of the system, it instantly turned into millions of tiny lines. Then, these lines penetrated into the veins. There is no pain at all. On the contrary, it was extremely comfortable, as if the entire huge body was bathed in the hot spring, and it was relaxed like never before. 5, 4, 3. The prompt sound of the system continues. In the end, Yi Bei even clearly felt that those white electromagnets had begun to envelop each of his cells and were rapidly fusing with the energy that they had acquired in the cells. 2, 1. Congratulations to the host for successfully integrating the power of electromagnetics. As long as the host's body reserves sufficient power, it can be used unlimitedly. Laugh. When this sound rang, Yi Bei, who was entrenched in the ruins, opened his eyes suddenly. Still the familiar feeling. Every time after learning a certain ability, he doesn't need Yi Bei to be familiar with it at all. That ability is like he was born with it. It seems that as long as Yi Bei is willing and his mind moves, he can retract it freely. The warship of the beast civilization is made of metal. It is full of various smart devices. I don't know what it will look like when they see the electromagnetic pulse that they have just launched, and I counterattack them back. Yi Bei spit out Shinzi, raised his head, and looked at the giant in the sky with a little expectation in his eyes. The timing of the return of these beast gods is really unfortunate. If it were 2 months ago, perhaps they could pose a certain threat to Yi Bei, but now, apart from its huge size, this battleship is simply not enough. Crackling. Yi Bei didn't waste time. When he put his gaze back on the battleship of the beast civilization, the power of electromagnetic pulse immediately began to flash around the body, and even formed a strip of white light that can be seen by the naked eye. The body was originally silver white. When the light appeared, all the surrounding space was illuminated. Mysterious. Brilliant. The aperture that appeared seemed to add special effects to Yi Bei's brand new body. Okay. However, when this electromagnetic continued to strengthen, Yi Bei, who was originally entrenched in the ruins of Washington, suddenly stared in his eyes. At this moment, his body actually felt an invisible force. That power is very powerful. Wow. The resulting fluctuations caused the Aolong battleship, which was suspended 8 kilometers in the sky, to tremble crazily. Then, an incredible scene appeared in front of the beast gods and mutant beasts. I saw Yi Bei, who was originally entrenched in the ruins, slowly soared into the air and flew towards the Aolong suspended in the air. In Washington, 30 kilometers away from the center of the battlefield, countless spaceships and warships are floating in the air. But now there is chaos here. Wow. A large number of spaceships swayed from side to side, teetering. Even on many battleships and spacecraft, there was still a faint smoke, as if it was about to explode at any time. King Caesar, it's not good. The smart devices on our anti-gravity warship are all malfunctioning and uncontrolled. The anti-gravity engine will go on strike at any time. Once this happens, the warship will crash. The resulting impact force should not be overwhelmed. The earthquake broke out. A mutant monkey shouted, "What's the matter? All the instruments are out of control." The golden lion roared, his eyes covered with bloodshot eyes, and his eyes were a little frightened. All the electronic equipment has failed. Could it be that what new type of weapon was used by the animal civilization? Tony's mouth is open. His face is constantly shocked. After all, it was now 30 kilometers away from the core of the battlefield. He really couldn't think of what kind of weapon could cause such a large range of fluctuations, and it was clear that everything was normal just now. Whoosh whoosh. While all the spaceships were out of control, they were being pulled by a huge force, slowly flying in the direction where Yi Bei was. But when the Golden Lion, Caesar, Tony, and the others didn't know what was going on, the moon's voice suddenly sounded. "It's incredible. Guys, concentrate and look at the core of the battlefield." Okay. What happened? Is it really the means of the animal civilization? In a panic, many mutant beasts concentrated their mental energy and paid attention to the core of the battlefield. Under the spiritual power domain, as long as Yi Bei allows them, these mutant beasts can also observe the scene. When they saw the continuous white light around Yi Bei's huge body, clearly without wings, but the body soared ignoring gravity, all their eyes widened. "Wong, did you fly? Didn't rely on any external force." The golden lion's hair is upside down. It feels incredible. But as soon as this sentence was finished, his eyes were condensed. As Yi Bei's apostle, after Yi Bei completed his evolution, his abilities could be shared. At this moment, the golden lion felt that his body seemed to be there too. Quietly, great changes have taken place. I feel that my body can release the power of electromagnetics. Moreover, I have a hunch that this situation must be caused by the king. Wang Wen also vomited the letter and said very seriously, "Everyone hold on. Once the spaceship is really about to fall, it will become the smallest form. I will let the mutant birds help you." Bloody Moon said, "It is good. It is good. It is good. The mutant beast leaders of the major races answered one after another. However, their mental power is still all concentrated on Yi Bei's side. The United States, the 51st District. Morpheus trembled wildly. Swallow. It's swallow again. After the snake swallowed the death light before, he would use the death light to fight back, and now that he has swallowed EMP, the same power can be applied. Only the highest level in the universe. A creature possesses this ability. The voice in his mouth kept turning pale. The snake flies, electromagnetizes his body, and the huge spacecraft of the beast civilization is made of metal, so they will attract each other. This method is really terrible. Trinina saw the essence. As long as he has this ability, even if he encounters a robot tribe in the universe, he will win. Neo murmured. The fear of Yi Bei in his heart rose to another level. China. Fly, are you flying? Old Guo looked at the image sent back by the satellite, with blue veins violent on his neck. Too shocking. The snake flew towards the super battleship. Is it to destroy it directly with his body? Yi Lao boldly imagined. What are those white lights shining on him? The majestic old man had his pupils shrinking. Although asking like this, deep in my mind, I already thought of the answer. Electromagnetic pulse gun. In order to deal with the civilization of the beast gods, since the establishment of the Huaxia kingdom, a team of the highest level has been separated to study this weapon day and night. When seeing this scene, the head of the Huaxia kingdom was very solemn. Because the last hole cards are gone. Russia. If the snake civilization wins this time, the pattern on Earth will change again. Although the end of humanity is miserable, to be honest, I really look forward to that day. The emperor ignored the chill around him, and when he spoke, he kept emitting white smoke. Standing next to several tall men. After hearing the words of the emperor, the corners of their mouths twitched slightly, trying to say something, and finally endured it again. At this time, the most shocking thing is the beast gods hidden in the battleship Allo. The monster flew over. A beast growled. Ziz, it has the power of electromagnetic pulse, Ziz, and magnetizes, Ziz, the whole body. And our battleship, Ziz, is made of metal, not as real that easy, flew up, but our battleship is sucking him up. The power of electromagnetic pulse has too much influence on electronic equipment. When Yi Bei released that huge energy, the 3D projections of the intelligent beast gods were constantly flickering. While speaking, large swaths of snowflakes appeared from time to time, intermittently. The most important is, the death light burst from Yi Bei's eyes just now made a huge hole on the battleship Allo. The Allo was seriously damaged. A large amount of spiritual energy is being consumed every moment. Find a way to directly use all the remaining spiritual orb power. You must not let that monster fly over. You must kill him. The snake lion's heart beats frantically. As Yi Bei's distance gets closer, his heart, the instinctive sense of crisis in the depths became stronger. Just when the voice of the snake and lion just fell, Yi Bei's icy voice reached every beast god's mind again. Everyone, now that I have come to Earth, let's talk about it. For example, how many resources and costs are you going to spend to compensate for killing so many of my men? Boom. Yi Bei's voice appeared. The Aolong shook violently again. At the same time, a loud bang appeared. Yi Bei's huge body slammed into the Aolong. A group of dark red flames burned at an altitude of 8,000 meters. From below, it looked like the sun about to set.
Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe.